Well, hot damn, looks like we are live on the internet. That's what I'm talking about. Little crooked. Let me fix this up while we're waiting on people to join us and fix this up here. We got Lil. If this was a rapper, his rap name would be Lil Crooked. Lil Crooked. Alright. There we go. It's even more crooked now. But that works. It's not about the angle of the camera, is it? Alright, let's rock and roll, y'all. Let me grab my driving glasses before we hit the old streets here. We're going to talk about a story, two stories that have happened to me in the over the last couple of days that I want to share with you. So, first of all, hit the like button, leave some comments, check in, let me know you're here. What's up, KT? What's up, man? Larry Lee, Tribe in the house. We got the right people hanging out. We got Kevin Baker, not Kevin Bacon, Kevin Baker. Big difference there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. All right, let me come through here. Got this car trying to pull out from me. Like, let's get some hype up, get some people here on this video, because I'm gonna blow your mind with what I'm gonna share with you this morning. I'm gonna share something a little bit outside of the box, some kind of stuff that I normally don't share, but there's gonna be a lot of lessons to be extracted from what I'm about to share with you. So Friday, I had my man Jonathan Fowler at the office. Johnny has been a client and a friend. He's like a brother to me, and for about three years or a little bit more. And one of his ex-employers, this has been in the news recently, and the ex-employer is they're under a $258 million like they were told by the federal courts to pay $258 million in settlement charges to the government for what they did. And Johnny obviously didn't have nothing to do with that, which is why he left the company. But he's telling me a story about the CEO of the company. I'm like, first of all, how does a person get in a situation where they make so much money that they can owe the government $258 million? Like, I owe the government $258,000 in taxes, and I'm like sweating bullets, right? And like, I could only imagine being, I'd rather go do time in federal prison than have to come off $258 million. That's just me, though. I've been there. I know it's not as scary as some people make it out to be. It's definitely not worth $258 million. And so I asked him, you know, hey, how does a company get that big to where they got that kind of money anyway? And he says, well, you know, one day I was eating dinner with him. I'd worked there for about 2 years, and I was eating dinner with the president of the company, and the president says, you know, I meant to tell you thank you, because the last 2 years I've made over $25 million per year. And my friend said he was making, you know, multiple six figures, however low multiple six-figure income, which is nothing to shake a stick at. It's nothing to be ungrateful for. You know, that's you know, if you're making $250,000 to $500,000 a year, that is a fucking phenomenal income, and kudos to you. That puts you in the top 5% of the United States, top 1.5% in the world, so that's awesome. However, my man Johnny was the right-hand man. So what if the CEO of that company would have made $24 million, right? Because what's another $1 million? That's not going to make or break anything at that point, right? So what if the CEO made, that's way better on the light. Sorry it took me so long to get that set up for you. But what if the CEO made $24 million and he gave Johnny $1 million? You see, it wouldn't have made any difference in the CEO's life, 25 and 24 million, but it made all the difference in the world to my man Johnny, right? Like $1 million to him back then, those years ago, would have been all the difference in the world, right? It would have meant the difference between him partnering up and maybe helping the guy avoid this whole fucking shenanigan situation he's in where he owes $258 million. It could have been all sorts of stuff, right? That made all the difference in the world, but that person decided to, instead of compensating his employee, that was the one that's really making him the money in the first place. Let's just be real. He decided to keep it himself and pay what I would consider like the bare minimum to the employee. So I want you to think about that. And then I start thinking about that, and that's kind of like the norm in this business. And I never really thought about it this way until we were having that conversation, but that really is like the norm in this business. My wife, she worked for this hedge fund in Dallas, and she raised over $300 million in funds in 1 year for this hedge fund, right? Over $300 million. That means that they made at least 3% of $300 million. And they chose to pay her less than what they promised. They promised her that they were going to pay her 150 to 180 grand. They end up paying her less than half of that over the course of the year, even though she exceeded the corporate expectations. And then on top of that, while she's making 75, 80 grand, which is, 100 less per year than they were saying, even though she exceeded expectations, the CEO of the company, since it's a public company, they have to let you know their financials and stuff. So this is public record. The CEO of that company made $400 million. On his fucking W-2. On his fucking W-2, he made $400 million for the year. That's not counting his assets, his investments, his holdings, all that shit, right? Now, hey, look, I'm all about success, but I know that there was only 80 employees in that building, and they could have paid I'm just saying, they could have paid all 80 employees $1 million per year and had the happiest motherfucking employees on the planet. But instead of being $300 million a year, which ain't fucking bad, baby, that's a good ass living, he decides to make 400 and keep it for himself. That would be hard for me. Now, I'm not in a situation where I got $300 or $400 million to make that decision. But that's the norm, right? Like, people try to pay the bare minimum to employees and to people that want to help them grow their vision, their brand, and meanwhile they want to keep everything for themselves. I don't fucking operate that way. I don't think it's fun to have wealth if you're not teaching others how to get it and sharing it with them. Like, what the fucking point would be climbing Mount Everest all alone? That doesn't make any sense. You got nobody to celebrate once you get to the fucking top, and that shit's boring. I don't really like me that much, and most people don't like them that much either, so something to consider. The other thing that I'll have you consider is that if you find the right employees and you pay them right, they'll never leave you. You could pay them $10 million a year, because I know the mindset of the corporation is if we pay them $1 million a year, they won't show up to work. You got fucking 6 weeks paid vacation and all that shit you get in a corporate setting anyway. They don't have to fucking show up to work for 70 grand. At least they'd show up to work ready to hustle like a motherfucker for $1 million. They would never want to lose that fucking job for $1 million. They would do anything, probably take motherfuckers out and shit for $1 million a year. But instead, the owner decides to make $400 million. Now, here's what I know about the owner of that company. It's only going to be a matter of time before he's under the same type of investigation that the owner of the mortgage company I mentioned that my friend used to work for. Because greed never pays off. You look at big companies that their owners, they make hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Now, most CEOs don't make hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Most CEOs make between $2 and $10 million a year. That's just like the norm. If you look on the Dow Jones or publicly traded blue chip companies, most of them are not making like just what you would consider. Their companies are making trillions of dollars, but that stays back in the company. Now, in these instances, I'm talking about people's personal income. Vincent James in 2005 made $110 million as the CEO of his supplement company. That was his cut on his like, not W-2, but his financials that he paid taxes on. And that was more than the top 15 people in the Dow Jones Industrial Index. The top 4, the top people times fucking 2, right? So like all the people that were in, I forgot the exact number, man. He explained it on the podcast, and as soon as I go saying it, I can't bring it back up. But there's a shit ton of people that are CEOs of the biggest fucking companies on the planet, and he made more money than like the top, I think, 15 of them combined times 2. So it's just something ridiculous like that. So they don't get paid as much as you think. And so I share that with you because just because a company like Apple's making trillions, their CEO probably only makes $5 to $10 million a year, which is a fucking lot of money. I'm just saying. But meanwhile, there's corporations like the one I'm talking about where the person made $400 million and they just have a few small employees, like, 85 to 100 employees that they could take well better care of. It's just weird to be the person that operates in the face of greed like that. And so this morning, I pull up in my new car. In case you don't know, I'm just saying because I fucking think it's awesome. I bought a McLaren over the weekend, And my birthday is on Sunday, and so I bought a McLaren. It got here about a week early. Fucking coolest thing I've ever owned, man. Like, I almost started crying and shit when they pulled it off the truck. I'm like, it's a symbol of hard work, right? I worked my entire fucking life to be able to have nice things, and I think when you drive a vehicle like that, there's no doubt that you're a signal of success, and there's no doubt that you've worked hard and can prove. So anyway, I've driven my car to CrossFit this morning, and they don't watch my shit or know who I am in there. I just go in there and work out. There's one guy who knows who I am. He's like, I watch all your shit, man. But like, me and him, we ain't in there trying to brag and tell everybody. But I show up in the car right this morning, and a few people started asking questions like, hey, what kind of car is that? That's fucking cool, blah blah blah. What'd you do with your Maserati? And I said, well, with the Maserati, I gave it to the vice president of my company. I gave it to one of my employees. And they said, there's 3 of them I was talking to. They said, you just gave that car to your employees? And I was like, yeah, why not? He's been loyal. He's worked hard. He's made me a lot of money. And I think that it's cool to share in the wealth with people. And they're like, wow, this employee must have been with you for years now, like forever. And I was like, well, my company is only 7 years old. This employee's been with me for 2 years and going on year 3. And so not too long, but I wanted to bless him with something nice, something to remind him why we're doing this and sharing the wealth, right? It's like, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. And they were blown away. Like, what kind of company does that? And I thought, well, you know what? I did that for my assistant too. Like, she drives a brand new car. And, shit, like, I went and got the car for her and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, this is, to me, seems normal. It's like, these are the people that are helping me make this money. Why wouldn't I fucking take care of them? I just wrote a bonus check bigger to my my vice president on Friday that was bigger than any bonus I've ever been paid in my life. And that's a good feeling, right? It's a good feeling, because I've said this before. It's like, hey, I became a millionaire. Then some of my clients became a millionaire, and more of my clients are becoming millionaires every single day, especially with what we're doing over at Funnel Closer. It's only a matter of time before it's happening on a huge scale. And now it's my turn to make my employees millionaires, right? So then, again, when I became a millionaire, I wanted to say I want to have $1 million liquid. I want to have over $1 million in assets. I want to have $1 million this way, so that no matter how you chop it up, you can't fucking deny that Ryan Stewman is a fucking millionaire. Well, now I'm talking about, I want to be the millionaire maker. And a lot of people, they get focused on making themselves a millionaire or making their clients a millionaire. And I'm focused on both of those things, but I'm also focused on making the people that work for me and work with me, because I don't really feel like anyone works for me. It's really more of a works with me. And I'm going to make sure that the people that work with me, they're on the path to millions too. They've got an opportunity to earn millions with me. But more importantly is I can teach them how to be financially free, right? I can teach them how to invest their money, how to use the multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars that I'm paying them, which I pay well, just like I take good care of them. I have 5 or 6 people that make 6 figures a year working for me, and I've only got 15 people that work for me. And so consider that, right? Sorry about all the bumpiness here. The road and these mud tires is giving me a good run for my money this morning. But I want you to think about this. I know my clients oftentimes come to me and they say they keep hiring and firing people. Can't find loyal people, can't find people to do good work. But most of the time, they're trying to pay them shit wages. They're trying to make sure they're making $20,000, $30,000 a month, and they want to pay somebody $2,000 a month to help them go from 30 to 50. So you want to pay only $2,000 for somebody to make you 20. Well, this is the problem. If you'll pay somebody 5 or 10 to make you that 20, sure, you're not making that 20, but guess what? If you pay them 5 or 10, then they might help you make 30 instead of 20. They might be so excited about the cash that they're making, they might make you 75 instead of 50, 100 instead of 75, whatever level you're living on. You see, but what happens is we've got this mentality because this is what our employers did to us. It's like victims of abuse. They say that the number one person that is going to abuse someone else is someone who's been abused themselves. And so we've been abused by employers, right? We've seen our employers make a fuck ton of money while they fucked us out of our commission checks and they fucking cut us on a Friday. We listened to them talk about record months and then fucking tell us that they had a chargeback on our bullshit that we got to fucking pay for while they're counting millions in Beverly Hills. We're over here in fucking the goddamn suburbs struggling through traffic to get to fucking work every day. Like, we've all all seen that, and when it's our time to step up, we start thinking, we say, well, maybe that's how it's done. I'll be this way. And we start with this fucking greedy mentality, and then we wonder why almost all fucking startups shut down. We wonder why our small businesses fail. We wonder why we can't keep employees. We wonder why there's no fucking loyalty. But here's what I know. It's because you're perpetuating the same cycle of fucking abuse. You can't end abuse with abuse. You can't stop racism by being racist. You can't beat the fight out of somebody. That's not what fucking happens. You have to break the cycle, period. And that means taking care of your people. And guess what? If you find the right people and you bless them and take care of them, they will be loyal to you. They will never leave you. They will work fucking hard for you, and you will have the most prosperous business ever. You know, the folks that work for me, I pay too well, honestly. There's nobody in the game that pays like I do. I pay entirely too well, but I want you to think about it. Because of that, you don't see people leaving my team. We've had the same core group of motherfuckers on Hardcore Closer for a long time now, especially in the world where people coming and going. Nobody's saying, oh, I know how to do all of Ryan's shit, so I'm going to go become the next Ryan. They drink the Kool-Aid because I take care of them. You know, it's not that, you know, Ryan's living in the fucking mansion and driving all these cars and all this shit while we're over here starving. It's not the case, right? We're all eating steak together. Matter of fact, when we go out, yesterday, me and Pat, he picked up the tab where we were at. It's not much, maybe $100, $150 for the amount of time that we were there, but still, it's the gesture. And he didn't have to, but guess what? I've taken such good care of him that he's like, hey man, you know what? Let me hook you up. Knowing that I got more money than him, but it's the gesture. You see, but most people, they don't fucking do it like that. Most employers are like, how can I pay these people? How can I underpay these people and max out profitability to where I'm driving a fucking Lambo and they're driving a goddamn 1996 Honda Civic that they had to get from a tote the note yard because their fucking credit's full of payday loans, because that's what's fucking getting them by right now, because I'm not compensating them enough. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy when people walk into the office. When I walk into the office, people see me and they're like, this is the fucking guy who's making all the money and not letting any of us get in on the action. I'm already to a point where I'm making more money than I ever suspected I would make in my life. And now my job is to get other people to that point, but I'm different. I'm actually on Team Human. A lot of people are on Team Me, right? They're on Team Me. They only care about themselves. They're only concerned with how they can benefit and what's in it for them. I see people every day that hit me up and they want me to help them, but they have no intention whatsoever in helping me in return. And so I see people all the time that are on Team Me. Well, I'm on Team People. Because I know what, I can only carry myself so far. But if I'm on Team People and I create a team of the right people, then those people will carry me to the depths of wherever I want to go. But most people are so concerned about Team Me that they never make the switch to Team People. And Team People's bad as a motherfucker. There's good people and bad people. But Team People, being on Team Human, Team People's bad as a motherfucker, because you empower other people. And it doesn't matter who they are. Like the people that work for me are convicts and ex-drug dealers and fucking people that used to fucking come from really sketchy, shady parts of life. But guess what? Now they're some of the most respected, loyal fucking people in the internet marketing game. Why? Because I invested in Team People. I could have went out and fucking got some other people that had all the opportunity in the world, golden spoon, all that shit. But guess what? A lot of those people are on Team Me, and that's not what I'm looking for. So today, as you go through and try scaling your business and you're hiring people and everything else, I want you to start thinking about, are you undercompensating your people? Because listen, if you undercompensate your people, that's what you're going to consistently get, right? You're going to get people that are always looking for the next best thing. My assistant doesn't look for another job. You know why? Because nothing's going to fucking pay the way that I pay. My VP doesn't go out looking for another job. You know why? Because fucking nothing's going to pay the way that I'm going to pay. So I don't got to worry about loyalty. But in the meantime, they know that they can't get it better anywhere else. So guess what? They don't want to fucking go anywhere else. If you even try to talk to Travis Plum about a fucking job, he's going to be like, I'm not trying to hear it, man. Let me sell you some Orion shit. You go hire somebody better, right? Because I fucking compensate and take care of Team People, right? In my case, it's Team Breakthrough Academy. So think about that this week, man. Maybe it's time that you stop thinking, and not all of you are this way, but maybe it's time you stop thinking like that greedy victim of abuse that the corporations have put you through, and you start thinking about creating the company that you would want to work for, and you would feel like you're getting compensated for your efforts for being there. So y'all have a great week. I'm out, pulling into the office.